morning and welcome to English Lessons on Iman TV. In today's lesson, we are going to start our lesson with the vocabulary test. And this is basically words that we studied in the past. I want to bring it back to your attention to see how many of these words you remember now today. And then after that, we have a grammar lesson. We're continuing with the irregular verbs in past form and also practice WH question using past tense. And then after that, I have a listening comprehension. It's a little bit longer than the one that we did last week, but I'm sure that you'll figure it out. The words are simple, and then I will teach you the new words, and I'm sure that you will understand it. So let's start the lesson with the vocabulary first. So these are the words that we studied in the past, and especially last week, most of them. And I want to see whether you remember them or not. So let me read these words for you, and if you could repeat after me, that will be great. And if you, when you repeat, please say it loud enough that you can hear what you're saying. Please repeat. Forgive, jog, tip, dream, yawn, excited, nervous, dentist, carpenter, farmer. Now, the words, the meaning, I will read them for you just in case you can read the print on your screen. A, an idea, thought during sleep. B, feeling great or feeling energetic. C, open mouth wide. D, run at a slow speed or pace. E, money for service or giving a good idea. F, a doctor treating teeth. G, a person who grows plants and crops. H, worried. I, excuse. And J, a person making or fixing wooden objects or wooden building frames. Now, I want you to think and see if you could match the vocabulary. For example, for forgive, which of these phrases from A to J expresses the meaning of forgive? What is the meaning of forgive? Forgive means what? The correct, remember, we studied this last week, so I want to check whether you remember the words from last week or not. So the correct answer is, forgive means what? I excuse. Somebody makes a mistake, you forgive the person. You excuse the person. In Farsi, we call it bakhshidan. When somebody makes a mistake, you excuse him, you forgive him. We always ask for forgiveness from Allah, from God. We want bakhshish, we want our sins to be forgiven. That's the word we use, forgive. Number 2, jog. What's another word for jog? The correct answer is D, run at a slow speed. Remember, run means you go fast, but jog means what? Yes, you do run, but not as fast as runners do, okay? So it's a slower speed. It's basically kind of a brisk walk. Number 3 is tip. What is the meaning of tip? From this list on column B, which one expresses the idea of tip? And there are 2 meanings I've provided. One is what? That you give somebody a tip for a good service. You go to a restaurant, the service is good, you like it, you give him a tip. Another idea is what? That you give someone an idea. So the answer is what? E, money for service or for giving a good idea, tip. So somebody says, give me a tip. Somebody's thinking about something. Give me a hint. Give me a tip. That means what? That you give him an idea. Number 4, dream. What's your answer for dream? If somebody says that I dreamed last night, what does that mean, dream? So dream means A, It could mean an idea or thought during sleep. When people fall asleep, things come to their mind. That's what? A dream. So you could say what? I had a dream last night. But dream can be used as a verb. Dream can be used as a noun. So it's both. It can be used as a noun and as a verb. Number 5 is yawn. So what is the meaning of yawn? The correct answer is C. Open mouth wide. Okay, like that. That's yawning. Remember we studied a story about that last week. It was a short story, but the main thing was what? To learn the meaning of some words. Yawn. Excited. What is the meaning of excited? Excited simply means what? Means be feeling great, feeling energetic, feeling very, very happy, excited. You watch a game, you like the game, let's say a game of soccer or American football, and your team wins, you're excited, okay? You feel great, you feel energetic. That's excited. Nervous simply means what? H, worried. So before you take a test, you're kind of what? Nervous. Are my answers going to be correct or not? Are the questions going to be easy or difficult? You are what? Nervous. Before a job interview, people feel what? Nervous. Before you go and talk to a group, you give a speech. Before you start the speech, you feel what? Nervous. So nervous means you're kind of feeling uneasy. Dentist is also a doctor, but what kind of a doctor? A doctor who treats what? Teeth. Okay? With teeth problem, you go to a dentist. Number 9, carpenter. Carpenter simply means what? Someone who's making or fixing wooden objects, making frames, making chairs, tables, desks, but also what? Building frames. That kind of a person is called carpenter. Okay? And the number 10 is an easy one. We studied this about 3 weeks ago. And that's what? Farmer. And that means a person who grows things. Okay? G. A person who grows plants and crops. So now that we have the answers for the test, what I want you to do is to repeat after me together. And please say it loud enough that you can hear what you're saying. Okay? Now, before you repeat, excuse me, can you tell me how many of your answers are correct? Did you make 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes? But doesn't matter. Now you have all the correct answers. So please repeat after me together. Forgive, jog, tip, dream, yawn, excited, nervous, dentist, carpenter, farmer. Thank you very much. Now let's go to the next segment of our program. Next segment is what? The grammar. Remember, we studied simple past tense. I'm still trying to give you more practice on simple past tense. When do we use simple past tense? We use simple past tense for an action that happened in the past. Started in the past and finished in the past. For example, if you look at this diagram, something happened yesterday, last week, last month. Use simple past tense. So, and for that, you need to use the right verb and the right form of the verb. For example, you say, Tom called Jim yesterday. The calling happened yesterday, before now. So, you need to use ed in the past form. So, we also talked about there are 2 kinds of verbs, regular verbs and irregular verbs. The regular verbs are the ones that take ed in their past form. The irregular verbs are the ones that do not follow any specific rules. I believe I explained this for you in Farsi, and I will say it again که در انگلیسی وقتی که با زمان موضوع ما یک فعل استعمال میکنیم، دو رقم فعل ها موجود است. یکیش افعال با قاعده است و دیگهش افعال بی قاعده. افعال با قاعده شموست که اینا وقتی که ما ایره به زمان ماضی استعمال میکنیم، برای زمان گذشته استعمال میکنیم، باید دی یا ایدی به شکل اول فعل اضافه بکنیم. و این سلاید که پیش روی شما هست در صفحه تلویزیون شما، این نشان میده که امی دی یا ایدی را که با فعل با قاعده شما اضافه میکنین، تلفظ از این همیشه دی یا ایدی نیست. این میتونه که تی تلفظ شوه، میتونه دی تلفظ شوه و میتونه اید تلفظ شوه. این تعلق به این داره که آیا حرف آخر امو فعلی که شما ایدی رو به او اضافه میکنین حرف صدادار است یا بی صداست. اگر حرف صدادار باشه، به اون صورت وقتی که شما ایدی رو اضافه میکنین، ایدی هم صدادار میشه، د تلفظ میشه. مثل میگن combed, climbed, moved, seemed. اگر حرف آخر بی صدا باشه، وقتی که ایدی رو اضافه میکنین، ایدی تلفظ تی را، یعنی تلفظ دی به تی تبدیل میشه. مثلا میگن talk, talked، یعنی می ایدی تی تلفظ میشه. help, helped، finish, finished و laugh, laughed. ببینید که ک، پ، ش and ف these are what ای و می صوت های بی صداست. به اون خاطر وقتی که ایدی رو اضافه میکنین، ایدی باید بی صدا شود. شکل بی صدای دی تیس. Okay? And then for those words that end with D and T, ED is pronounced as id. یعنی که وقتی که حرف آخر یک فعل که بخواین به زبان ماضی استعمال کنین دی یا تی باشه، دو صورت است که وقتی که شما ایدی را علاوه میکنین، ای اد تلفظ میشه. مثلا میگین ended or boarded or reported or added. Okay? So please repeat after me together, and then we are going to do the exercise and work on the irregular verbs. Comb, combed, climbed, mowed, seamed. Then talked, helped, finished, laughed. Ended, boarded, reported, added. Now, these verbs are irregular verbs. And these irregular verbs are found in 4 different categories. این لغات که ما در یک قسمت بر شما درس کردیم، این همون کلمات یا افعال غیر با قاعده است. یعنی که اینا کدام قانونی یا کدام قانون گرامری اینا تعقیب نمی کنند و شکل از اینا در زمان ماضی بدون کدام قاعده تغییر می خورند. به اون خاطر است که ما باید همیشه این رو تکرار کنیم. به اون خاطر است که هر هفته ما برای شما 10 لغت یا فعل انگلیسی رو که شکل موضوعش فرق داره و از کدام قانون پیروی نمیکنه خدمت شما ما ارائه میکنم تا این لیست خلاص میشه و تا که شما بتونین در هر هفته 10 لغت نو شکل موضوعش یاد بگیرین. این اشکال مثلا میگن drive, drove, driven. یک گروپ از این افعال بی قاعده همیست که هر 3 شکلش فرق داره. دیگه گروپش هست که bring, brought, brought. The second form and third form is the same. شکل دوم و سیومش یک چیز است. cut, cut, cut. از 3 شکلش این چیز است. And then come, came, come. شکل اول و شکل دومش این چیز است. Now we are going to study some words, some past form of the verbs, 10 of them actually. And these are the ones that I'm presenting to you this week. And I want you to learn the correct pronunciation, the correct past form, the correct spelling, and of course, we must know the meaning, otherwise we will not be able to use them, okay? So we need to know the meaning, the pronunciation, and the correct form. So the first word is hang. Number 2, have. Number 3, hear. Number 4, hide. Number 5, hit. Number 6, hold. Number 7, hurt. Number 8, keep. Number 9, know. And number 10, lay. So before you get to the second form, I want to make sure that you understand the meaning of these words. First of all, what is the meaning of hang? So you hang a picture on the wall. You put something on the wall. That's hang. In some countries, when somebody does something wrong, break the law, or kill someone, they hang the person. It's the same word. H-A-N-G. Okay? It's an irregular verb. Okay? And then have, you know have. You have a book, you have paper, and all that. Here, you hear something. Hide means you have something, you want to hide it. You don't want to show it to people. So you don't want to show something to people, you hide it. Hide in Farsi means makhfi kardan. Hide. Like you hide your social security number. You hide your ID, for example. That's what? Hide. Hit means what? Hit. You can hit on a table. You can hit on a chair. I mean, just hit something. That's what hit means. Hold means holding on to something. For example, I'm holding on to this one. That's one meaning. Like you hold something. You keep it, you grasp it in your hand. The other meaning of hold is what? Like you hold a meeting, for example. It means you have a meeting, and instead of saying, I have a meeting, you say what? We hold a meeting. We hold office hours, okay? Hold. And then hurt, if there's pain, it hurts, okay? Hurt. And then keep, that's a simple word. You keep whatever somebody gives you. You keep your money in a bank, for example. Know, if you recognize somebody, you know the person. And then lay, this means place, put, okay? There's several different meanings of lay. So in this one that I am teaching you, lay means like birds lay eggs. They place their eggs in a nest. That's what lay means, okay? Lay has other meanings too. We're going to get to that later on. But please repeat one more time, and then I will give you the second form. Hang, have, hear, hide, hit, hold, hurt, keep, know, lay. Now, the past tense of hang is hung. Okay? See, the first form with A, the jaw falls. You say hang. With U, you say hung. The jaw doesn't fall. See, hang, hung. Have, past tense, had. Hear, heard. Hide, hid. Hit, hit. Hold, held. Hurt, hurt. Keep, kept. Know, knew. And lay, laid. So these are what? The past form. You see, there is no rule. You do not put ed. The form changes without following any regulations. The third form of each of these words for hang, hung, and then what? Hung. So the same thing with the second form. Have, had, had. Hear, heard, heard. Hide, hid, hidden. Hit, hit, and then hit. Hold, held, held. Hurt, hurt, hurt. Keep, kept, kept. Know, knew, known. Lay, laid, and laid. Now, please repeat all these three forms after me together, and then we are going to use them in sentences. Please repeat. Hang, hung, hung. Have, had, had. Hear, heard, heard. Hide, hid, hidden. Hit, hit, hit. Hold, held, held. Hurt, hurt, hurt. Keep, kept, kept. Know, knew, known. Lay, laid, laid. Now I have some sentences for you with a blank. And what I expect you to do is to choose the correct form of one of those verbs that I have listed, either the present form, the present progressive form, the simple past form, and use them over here. So the words are what? Hang, have, hear, hide, and hit. So you need to do two things. Number one, read the sentence and see which of these words fits there and makes the meaning complete. And number two, decide which form of that verb can you use. The simple form, the simple present form, or the present progressive form, or the simple past form. So number one, I will read the sentences for you without any completion, and then I will give you a chance to look at them, and then we will do it together. Tim always blank his car keys under a mattress. What is a mattress? You see the picture over here. This is the picture of a mattress, okay? This is a mattress. Can you, me now? What do you put in this blank to make the meaning of this sentence complete? Ali blank a serious meeting with his mother. What word can you use here to make the sentence complete? Mary blank a new picture on his wall every month. Number 5, Kabir lost control of his car and blank a big tree. So which of these words will complete the meaning of these sentences? Let's look at sentence number 1 again. Tim always his car keys under a mattress. The correct answer is hides. So he doesn't want people to see it. He hides it there. But why can't we use hid? Or why can't we use hide? Why S? Why not hiding? We'll need to look at the words there. See, Tim always. Remember? Those were frequency words. If you keep repeating something over and over and over, then it means what? You have to use the simple present form of the verb. So the simple present form is what? Hide. But why do you have to use is? Why? Because the subject is Tim, third person singular. So that's why you say what? Tim always hides his car keys under a mattress. So there's only one correct answer, and that is the one. If you have any other answer, it's not grammatically correct. People will understand you, but it's not, the grammar is not correct. Sentence number 2. Can you, me now? What? Which word could fit there? The correct answer is what? Can you hear me now? Although here we use now, means right now. And for that we have to use verb ing. So like, I'm talking now, you're listening now. But the verb here doesn't have the ing form. You do not say, can you hearing me now? Because of can, you have to use what? You have to use the simple form of the verb. Can you hear me now? Okay? Yes, I can. So that's why, because of can, you cannot use ing. Although you have the time now. Ali is serious meeting with his mother. So what's the correct answer? Ali had a serious meeting with his mother. You have a meeting, you had a meeting. So for meeting, you could say what? I had a meeting today. I have a meeting today. That kind of a thing. Mary, a new picture on his wall every month. So what would you do with a picture? The word is what? Hangs. And you hang a picture on the wall. But because it's every month, so it's repeated, so you have to use what? The simple present form. Kabir lost control of his car in a big tree. In what? Hit a big tree. So these are the correct form and the correct words of the in this exercise. So let me read these sentences for you with the correct completion, and then we are going to do 5 more sentences. Tim always hides his car keys under a mattress. Number 2, can you hear me now? Number 3, Ali had a serious meeting with his mother. Number 4, Mary hangs a new picture on it should be on her wall every month. Number 5, Kabir lost control of his car and hit a big tree. Now I have 5 more sentences with blank spaces. So basically these 10 words we studied today, now you see them in context. The words are hold, hurt, keep, know, and lay. The sentences are, Sarah wants to see a doctor because her head blank. What can you put in that blank? Because her head what? Which word will fit there? Number 2, I didn't blank Dr. Irshad when he lived in Afghanistan. What word can you use here to make this sentence meaningful? Number 3, Shama blank the book her father gave her 10 years ago. What word can you use here? Number 4, Noor blank an important business meeting in his office now, this moment. And number 5, these birds blank eggs in their nests. Okay? So what words can you use in these blank spaces? So again, your job is what? First, you need to think about the meaning. Which word can make these sentences meaningful? And secondly, you need to look at what? At the form of the verb to fit the tense of the sentence. Okay? So for sentence number 1, Sarah wants to see a doctor. See, wants. Wants means what? Is it present tense, present progressive tense, or past tense? Of course, with S, it means what? It's present progressive. It's a simple present tense. And so you need to use the simple present tense. But which word could fit here? The correct answer is hurts. Head hurts. It is a pain in the head. If there is pain, it hurts. So her head hurts. She has a headache. So her head hurts. So she wants to see a doctor. I didn't blank Dr. Irshad when he lived in Afghanistan. So which word can you use here? The correct answer is I didn't know Dr. Irshad when he lived in Afghanistan. At that time, I didn't know him, but now I do. I didn't know Dr. Irshad when he lived in Afghanistan. Number 3, Shama blank the book her father gave her 10 years ago. So what words? Remember, it's 10 years ago. It's in the past. So you have to use what? The simple past form of whatever word you choose, or whatever verb you choose in this case. So the correct answer is what? Kept. Keep, kept, kept. You need to use what? Kept here. So Shama kept the book that her father gave her 10 years ago. Noor, an important meeting, business meeting in his office now. So now, this moment, it means what? You have to use present progressive tense. So the correct answer is Noor is holding an important business meeting in his office now. You hold a meeting. You could say, I have a meeting. You could also say what? I hold a meeting. Number 5, these birds, eggs in their nest. So there's only one word left, and that is what? Lay in their nest. Nest means it's the place, it's home for what? Birds, where they lay what? They put their eggs there, okay? That's called nest. You see the picture there. So the birds, it's plural. That's why I didn't have S with lay. Lay means what? Place. Birds lay eggs. They place eggs there. Okay, so let me read these sentences with correct completion. Then you will go to the next segment of the lesson. Sarah wants to see a doctor because her head hurts. I didn't know Dr. Irshad when he lived in Afghanistan. Number 3, Shama kept the book her father gave her 10 years ago. Number 4, Noor is holding an important business meeting in his office now. Number 5, these birds lay eggs in their nests, and that's the picture of a nest. Now let's go to the next part. The next part is that I'm going to give you a phrase, and I want you to change it to information question. So write question with information questions, use the words and phrases given, then write answers to these questions. So the first one, when Russian Afghanistan. So you need to make a sentence using when to ask for information about the Russians in Afghanistan. It could be any tense, but you could use past tense, present tense, future tense, or present progressive tense. Where you live. So you need to make it a question. How you school. Make a question with how, make a question with where, make a question with when. Let's try the first one. So what about the when in Russian in Afghanistan? So the question I made for you as an example is what? When did the Russians invaded Afghanistan? It should be Russians with S because it's plural. When did the Russian invade? So I'll have to fix that one. When you use did, you don't use ed. When did the Russians invade Afghanistan? The correct answer is the Russians invaded Afghanistan in 1979. I'll have to fix this before we go to the next slide. So I'll show you how you can fix those errors. That's called editing, when you fix your own error. Where you live. So we make it a question, where do you live? Where do you live? If somebody asks me, I would say, I live in Concord, California. How you school? How do you go to school? Make it a question with how. What means of transportation do you use to go to school? So you could say what? I go to school by bus. Let me show you how you could fix this error, for example. Why is this sentence not correct? See, you say, when did the Russian invaded Afghanistan? You can't do that. That's wrong. Why? Because you use did here. When you use did, this should be what? Invade. Now it's correct. And then, because 1979, you cannot say the Russians invade Afghanistan in 1979. 1979 is way back. It's 30 plus years ago. So you have to use what? The correct form of the verb here. You need to use what? D. You need to say what? The Russians invaded Afghanistan in 1979. If you say it, people know because you talk about 1979, so this should be what? Something in the past. But when you write it, then you have to have the correct form. Also, people judge your English, people judge your knowledge by the way you speak English, or any language for that matter. Whether you speak Pashto or whether you speak Farsi. So depending on how grammatical it is, they can think of your level of education, your personality, everything based on the way you speak. That's why I insist on correct grammatical form, that when you talk to your neighbors, when you talk to your friends, when you talk to your colleagues, when you talk to your classmates in school, if you use correct English, they think of you highly because they think that what? You have accomplished something. You can speak in a language flawlessly without mistakes. So here are the sentences again. Where do you live? I live in Concord, California. And then, how do you go to school? I go to school by bus. One thing I want you to bring to your attention, that when you write, when you speak, you say, I live in Concord, California. But when you write between the city and the state, you have to put a comma. Look at question number 2. I live in Concord, comma, California. In writing, this comma is a must. You don't have a choice. You must write it. If you don't, it's not correct. Okay? So between the city and between the state, when you write, you need to place a comma. Now let's go to the next page. Who your English teacher? How can you make a question about that? How often English? How can you make a question about that? Why study English? So how can you make a question about that? In other words, what I want you to do is to make question with who, with how, and with why. And use these phrases like your English teacher, English, and study English. Okay? So that's the tense doesn't matter. It can be simple present, it could be present progressive tense, or it could be simple past tense. Okay? Now let's look at sentence number 1. Who your English teacher? You could say, who is your English teacher? And you can give an answer. It could be anybody. But in this case, if you watch my show, you learn some English from it, and somebody asks you, who is your English teacher? You could say what? Dr. Popal is my English teacher, or my English teacher is Dr. Popal, or whoever is your English teacher. How often? So you make a question with how often. How often means how many times. It asks for the frequency of the occurrence of a word. How many times something happens. How often do you practice speaking English? How many times a week or a month or a day you practice English? So the answer is, you could say, I practice speaking English every day. So if you practice something every day, the chances are that what? You become fluent in it. Study English. Why? Why do you study English? What's your reason? People learn a language for a variety of reasons. What is your reason? You could say that what? I study English because I want to find a good job. A lot of people learn a language not because they love the language. You don't have to love a language. But you can learn a language to get something. You can get a good job. You can go to a good university. You can get a degree. You can talk to your neighbors. You can socialize. You can make friends. So there's so many different reasons why you don't have to love the language, but you could use the language to get something done. And that's why I'm trying to help you with improving your English. Now let me read the questions and the answers, and then we'll go to the next page. Who is your English teacher? If somebody asks you that question, you could say, Dr. Popal is my English teacher. Or, my English teacher is Dr. Popal. Or you could say that my English teacher is Umaid, whoever the person is. How often? How often do you practice speaking English? I practice speaking English every day. Remember, learning a language is like an exercise. If you exercise every day, one or two times, then you'll have strong muscles. The same thing with language. If you practice it every day, you will have a strong language. So that's why I urge you to practice English. Listening to English, speaking English, writing English. Remember, you don't have to love English. Just use it to get something done. Why? Why do you study English? I study English because I want to find a good job. You may have another reason. I study English because I want to talk to my neighbors. I study English because I want to, when I go to my doctor, I need to understand my doctor. Whatever reason. But there is why. And the answer is what? I study English because, and then your reason. Now let's go to the next page. The next page, I have 3 more questions for you, believe it or not. The questions are, what favorite color? Which TV station? How old your son? So you need to make questions about that. So favorite means what? Something that you like. So the question could be what? So think about that. What will be your question? What favorite TV? In other words, I want you to make a question with what, another question with which, another question with how. Okay? So what's your question for what? And I want you to use favorite color in it. The correct answer is, what is your favorite color? Or you can ask about somebody else's favorite color. You could say, what is John's favorite color? What's your brother's favorite color? What's your wife's favorite color? Or what's your husband's favorite color? But that's how you could say, what is your favorite color? Favorite color means what? The color that you like very much. And you could use favorite for color. You can also use it for what? For people. You could say, who is your favorite person? So you could say, my favorite person is my mother, or my favorite person is my father, or my favorite person is my wife or husband. You could put anybody there, or brother or sister. Or favorite teacher. Who is your favorite teacher? Favorite store, favorite fruit, favorite food, favorite vegetable. So favorite could be used what? Something that you like more than other things. Okay, it's a good word to learn. If you don't know it yet, it's about time to learn it. Okay, so What is your favorite color? If somebody asks me, I would say what? My favorite color is blue. Means what? I like blue color more than any other color. Okay, that's what favorite means. Which TV station? What is your question for TV station? So you could say what? Which TV station do you watch? You watch TV stations. So the answer could be what? I watch Iman TV, for example. Like if you're watching Iman TV right now, that will be your answer. Which TV station do you watch? I watch Iman TV. How old your son? How old is your son? The answer could be what? My son is 28 years old. So let me read these questions with the answers, and then we'll go to the next segment. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. Which TV station do you watch? I watch Iman TV. How old is your son? My son is 28 years old. I don't know how much time I have. I'll have to ask our engineer here how much time we have that we can go over this. 42 minutes. So what I will do is I had the listening comprehension for you too, but because of time limit, I will not be able to teach you that one. I will teach you that one some other time, but we're going to go over the words and then I'll stop there, because this listening comprehension takes a good 25 minutes, okay? So let's go to the part that we did over here. The last part. So for next week, what I want you to do is what? To practice these words, and then we can start our next lesson basically next week or the following week. I will give you the listening comprehension that I prepared for you for today. It takes a little bit longer time. So the words that we studied today, and I want you to really practice it during the week and be prepared to use them in sentences, are what? Hang, have, hear, hide, hit, hold, hurt, keep, know, and lay. The past form of hang is what? Hung. See, the spelling changes and the pronunciation changes. The A changes to U. So that's why the pronunciation is different. So with A, you pronounce it what? Hang. With U, you pronounce it hung. Okay? Hang, hung. Have, had. Hear, heard. Hide, hid. Hit, hit. Held, held. Hurt, hurt. Keep, kept. Know, knew. Lay, laid. And then hung, had, heard, hidden, hit, held, hurt, kept, known, and then laid. Now, please repeat after me together all the three forms. Hang, hung, hung. Have, had, had. Hear, heard, heard. Hide, hid, hidden. Hit, hit, hit. Hold, held, held. Hurt, hurt, hurt. Keep, kept, kept. know, knew, known. Lay, laid, laid. So what I want you to do with these words is I want you to review these words. I explained the meaning of some of these words in Farsi at the beginning. Also, I want you to check your dictionary if you are not sure about the explanation I give you. Also, practice. The most important thing is what? Two other things. So basically, for each word, I want you to know three things: the meaning, the pronunciation, and the correct form. The simple form, the past form, and the past participle form. The correct spelling. Spelling is extremely important, where you use which form and how you spell that. Okay? So that's why I want you to, I will end the lesson for today here, and I want you to review all the vocabulary from lesson 1 to lesson 12. If you missed any of these lessons, you want to review it, you can go to YouTube. Our engineer, technician, Umaid, is very, very, very practical person, a very able person, a very knowledgeable person, and he has posted most of these lessons on YouTube, so you can go to YouTube to practice. So you say, oh, I don't have lesson 1, so how do I practice that one? You have no excuse. Umaid John has taken care of you. He posted them all on YouTube. Please go there. Lesson 1, 2, 3, up to lesson 10 are there. So he is going to put number 11 and 12 this week. And so you have no excuse not to practice. The more you practice, the more you learn. Okay? So please practice, and especially if you could save them and take pictures of them and kind of print them out and practice the spelling. Okay? So that's how we can learn. A little bit at the time. Okay? بیننده های بسیار محترم تلویزیون ایمان، درس امروز ما با همینجا به پایان رسید. تا هفته آینده شما را به خداوند متعال میسپارم. تشکر.